Alrighty, Giovanni. Good to see
Nice to
you.
see you.
Nice.
Finally, I'm on the other side of the interview.
You're on the other side of the interview. You've been in the group for a year, and for anyone who doesn't know, it was your 1 year anniversary yesterday since
Yeah,
joining the mentorship. So happy anniversary! It's been a
thank
pleasure
you.
having you in the group. You're very active in the chat. You always like message me with your results. So it's been a pleasure having you. And yeah, I mean, my first question, obviously, I know who you are, I know your background, but for anyone who's listening, can you kind of give your story on why you joined the mentorship, what got you into trading, and maybe what you were doing before trading, and just kind of, what was your story of getting into trading and becoming a trader now?
Yeah, perfect. I guess I'll start with how I found you, which, like most of the people, was on TikTok. And it was, I don't remember exactly when, maybe 2 years ago or a year and a half ago. And I just did your free course. And at the time, I was still working a lot on my startup that then I put on the side at the end of 2024. And at that time, I thought, okay, I'm going to put it on the side and actually do something that is going to maybe change my life from a revenue point of view. So I had two projects on the side. And the first one was consulting, let's say. And the second one was trading. I wanted to do your full course. And that's when I applied for the mentorship. And I was like, yeah, I want to give it a go because the free course was already so good. And then I tried it just on interactive brokers. And I was like, there's a missing puzzle piece and I need to dig more because I'm missing some things. And that's when I applied and got in, did the full university, and then honestly started seeing results pretty quickly. Uh, did the paper trading for maybe a week, and your advice was, I think the best one is just do paper trading to understand the platform, then switch to real money with small risk, and then started from there. And I think I also arrived at a point where the environment was good last February,
Yeah.
and and things just picked up, and I was like, wow, okay, this is good, and started up from there. And I can't believe it's been a year already. The journey was so good, so much to learn, still so much to learn. I mean, you've been in the game for way longer, but after a year, honestly, if you had told me that I would be where I am today, I don't think I would have signed up for it. And I even remember writing, I don't know when I started, thinking by the time I get married, I want to make, I think it was 20K. And I think I had made three times that amount in, I don't know, it was 3, 4 months. So I was
Hmm.
like, yeah, this it's just funny to relive those moments and to see how it's progressing.
Hmm. Yeah, no, absolutely. So when you first joined, yeah, I remember you joined because last year, early 2025, that's when the tariff crash happened. So in February, we had some like January, February, the beginning of last year was really good. So how did you progress in the beginning where you started paper trading and then when you started with real money, kind of like what risk did you use and how did you progress your risk with time? And maybe if you could talk about as well, kind of what was your first few strategies that you traded, or what did you really like resonate with in terms of like your trading style?
Yeah, so paper trading, I remember, I think the first day in February when I literally joined the live trading, I was overwhelmed. I could only do 2 hours and I was like, okay, this is too much. I don't understand. And slowly but surely you get the hang of things. Um, and I think I literally started paper trading just to understand the platform, whether I was red or green. I didn't really care. It was just to understand, not to get overwhelmed with the execution. And then I think I started risking maybe $2. And then after $2, I was the same day I risked five. And then I think I went straight to 30, stuck to 30 for a while, and I think it was between maybe that's more relevant, between 250 to 500 shares for scalps.
Hmm.
And then for penny stocks, which were the ones that I resonated the most with, because I just really enjoyed the fact that there's no spread. You can just get in and out. If you're scared, you get out, and then if it's about to go, you just get back in. And these I would just get in with maybe 3K or 4K max, which when I think about it today is very small,
Hmm.
and even for you, I guess it's very very small. But and then progressively sized up um, to maybe 1K or 2K, and then I stalled actually until June, which was the phase of an era that we should not mention, but the ponging era, which was honestly so good but so bad because you get bad habits from this, and it's not real trading at the end of the day for, I guess, for me or for whoever was in that era. And then I was stuck, honestly, with 1 to 2K until the end of last year, where I was like, honestly, I'm looking at my P&L, even on the red days, just multiply by 2 or 3 your risk. You're gonna have maybe bigger losers, but you're gonna have much bigger winners. And just stick to the size, stick to the discipline. And I think since the beginning of the year, I'm really starting to see the results of scaling. And now I'm putting a rule that every 2 weeks, just size up a little bit more and getting more confident with the winners and the losers.
Hmm. Yeah, for anyone who also doesn't know who's listening to this, you probably heard ponging, and uh, yeah, so ponging is what we coined as making money off price improvement. So for anyone who's listening to this, that's what it is. Where there were a lot of traders where they would just get in it, and then the stock would go up a penny, and they would get out and make money off the price improvement. And I will say it was against my recommendation, but I've had a lot of traders, um, not even just in my group. I mean, there's actually most of the people who Pong are not even in my group. But there are some people who, you could just make money off the price improvement. And, you know, obviously I had a couple of students who did that, but most of the students, they trade the right way. But yeah, exactly. And then during that June, there was like crazy price improvement on some of the stocks that I had some of the people were trading. But yeah, no, that's definitely insightful. So, what did your like results kind of look like? Because you said you were started off with $2 to $5 risk, and then you raised it to 30. So in your first few months, how was the you know kind of the journey of the results month to month?
I think honestly, I think it was more the trading the right way. I think February was an insane month, and I just saw the results the last week where I had I think my first 6K week, and I was like, wow, this is amazing. And for my fourth week, even it was I remember having my first 4 digit day, but I
Hmm.
think it was a back to back to back to back to back day. And I was like, wow, this is insane. But the environment was also there. Then I remember Smart March being slower, but I always met my monthly goal, which was being above 5K. March was a bit lower, I think, or just above it, and I never went below 5K actually, because I think the most important aspect of it was just showing up, show up every day, and trade the right way. And I think that was the biggest unblocker for the situations is if you show up, you just need a couple of trades to reach your goals. And for me, the results were pretty consistent. Obviously, I was stuck with 1 to 2K, so my month would the worst was 5, the best was 27K, which is an unreal month, and on average, it's above 5 digits,
Hmm.
uh, which is for me is really is perfectly fine for this year. You always want more. Of course, for this year, I have different goals, but it was unexpected, to be honest.
Which was the
Really
27K
unexpected.
month?
The
Oh, is it?
June one.
Oh, in June. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I see. Yeah. I mean, I remember June because that was when they were trading some of the ETFs too. That there were some ETFs with like Tisley. That's funny enough. That's when I was in Spain too. Um,
Yeah, to be fair, I was doing the DNN, which because I couldn't trade ETFs, so I just did the DNN, and I would, yeah, I don't, yeah, it was. But honestly, if I had to redo it, I wouldn't do it because it instead of helping me progress, it gave me like the easy way, and I think you put it in such a good way that I think trading is the hardest way to make easy money,
mhm.
and you need to get out of your comfort zone. And this ponging era was just I think it made me go back in trading instead of moving forward with taking more risk, playing the right plays, doing the right chart trades, scalping with the right size. I think I missed out on a lot of learning during that phase, and as you say, not recommend.
Yeah, I see. So what was your like final like in 2020? Because it's been a year, so what was the final counting stat in 2025?
So in my full year, how the stats as profits is over 115. Okay, which for me, I mean, in 12 months, it was great. I took a month and a half off
Hmm.
because I got married, honeymoon, and whatnot.
Congrats, by
Uh,
the way. Congratulations.
which is pretty great. Had 26 red days, which in the grand scheme of things, it's not a lot, with the biggest loser being $380, which is not, I find pretty decent, and the biggest day being just under 3K.
Hmm.
And these are basically all my stats. And on average, it's more than $500 per day, which if you think about it, I mean, I would have never thought it would be possible if you had told me the first day I started trading.
Hmm. Yeah, no, I mean those are really impressive numbers, especially in your first year. I mean, most people in their first year are not profitable, so uh,
If you think of a job or a business, it's hard to find any jobs or business that would pay you that well, I guess, in your first year. And I mean, I'm in the mentorship, I consider myself a consistent student, but clearly not the most performing ones, because at the end of the day, when you see the results of so many students, there's some very high level of trading. And these are the guys that you look up for, even yourself. Your results are impressive. You've been in the game for 5 years, but for those who've been even less time than me, I'm like, wow.
mhm.
Even Bello, now there's this. Um, it's
Competitive.
yeah, it's competitive, but in a very healthy way, which is good. It pushes you to get out of your comfort zone. So that's also a very good part of the mentorship.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. So going into 2026 now, what are your like main goals for your trading? I know you mentioned already like sizing up, but like have you changed your style at all? Like for like I'll give you an example. I feel like even the last, week, I would say the last week we've had way less like pure scalps and a lot more kind of methodical trades where you have to actually get in, pick a really high quality setup, give it your stop versus, and for anyone's listening, a scalp is more like we go for a quick move while like we call it a chart trade is something where you're trading the continuation of the gap or you're trading a very unique setup and you're giving it room to actually follow through like where you're going to be waiting 30 minutes to an hour to see actual follow through on the trade and let it hit your target. So like recently, I think the last week, like we've seen a lot less scalps and a lot more trades where you have to get in, you got to be patient, and that's what trading is all about. Like there's other times where scalping is the most profitable strategy, so it's just about adapting. And I mean that's one of the best parts about just like trading in a group too, because students find ideas, I'm finding ideas, we're always able to adapt to what's working right now. But that kind of goes to you. So like, what how have you adapted your trading? Because you're one of my students that's been with me for over a year. A lot of the other students I interviewed, they've been trading for like 6, 7 months. So almost you've been in here for almost twice as long. How have you adapted your trading throughout your journey, but also like specifically in 2026?
Yeah, I think for this year, it's more going to be more selective with the trades and stop focusing on the money. Because I think with the time and now the experience, the money will come if the trades are selected in the right way. Because there's always the greed of wanting to do all the setups, and eventually they don't all work out. Because if you go into the less quality ones, you're going to get a paper cut and you're going to lose money and you're going to be angry and tell yourself, why did I do this? And you said it in one of your videos, if you just take out all of those silly setups, you're going to make a lot more and lose a lot less. So I think that's going to be the key, and just focusing on following the plan more accurately and say, I'm going to give it more room. And especially as you say, there's less maybe scalps and more chart trades. We were talking about it, the Upwork, which
Yeah.
I treated as a scalp, and it was a chart trade, and it would have been an amazing play had we sized it properly and stuck with it. So these kinds of plays really, really improve the way I trade them. and just trust the process. Because then I always look back at the day and think, why did I not just do what I said I would do, and I wouldn't be in that situation. So that's going to be the game plan, upping the size, because I think I've had enough days in the pocket to think, okay, if I multiply by two or increase the size by 30%, it will just change everything. Yes, the losses will be bigger, but the wins will be even bigger.
Hmm.
So I think that's the plan. Just also adapt to the environment, take the chart trades, trade them accordingly, and stick to the conviction.
Yeah, I agree. That's always been that's also, my plan as well. I'm always trying to improve too, and like I'm very good at scalping, but even now I'm trying to also adapt. And like you said, and for the Upwork, for example, if anyone's listening, there was a trade yesterday that had a beautiful, just such a tight base, and it was an excellent gap down where it was one of our top favorites in the pre-market. I really wanted to watch it for the market open, and it actually set up around like an hour later. We caught, I mean, such a tight base, really tight stop, and I hopped in and I couldn't get a fill. I was only able to get 1,000 shares. I tried to get like 3 or 4,000, but it was really hard to get a fill on it. And it dropped like 75 cents right to target. And those are the type of plays where I'm trying to be also a lot more aggressive on, where if you have a really nice stop, tight stop, really good setup, high quality gap, right, top watch in the pre-market, um, you get your entry and it starts to move in your favor, let the trade do the work for you versus a lot, we sometimes have a lot more of a scalping mindset, which is highly profitable too. But when if you can catch a big move with a tight stop loss and you manage your risk well and you catch a great entry and you let the trade do the work for you, that's how you catch the big plays. So yeah, that's also something I'm really focusing on, and I think we've done a lot better with. Even today, there were, I think, two plays where we just got in, we let the trade do the work, and especially like the U in the morning, where U was also top watch that I selected in the pre-market. We got it off the open, and it was, had beautiful continuation to the downside. So yeah, I agree. I mean, trading is all about just adapting consistently. So I like how you're also kind of gradually increasing size, because I've had a lot of students go from like $10 to like 100, and it's such a big jump that they're not able to like psychologically adjust to it, versus you're saying, every 2 to 3 weeks raise it, 10 to 30% or something, right? In that case, like it's a lot easier to see those fluctuations in your P&L. It's a lot easier emotionally to like, handle it.
That's the thing. I think you said something right the other day is increasing your size is good, but then it's just how comfortable are you to manage the trade with the correct size? Because
Yeah.
I've been trading past couple of days sometimes with fear. And if I had just sized a little bit less, the trade would have been really successful. It's just that because I got emotionally involved in the trade because of the size, I got shaken out and left too much money on the table. So I guess for me, the best thing with sizing is more when you have a tough start of the day and you've dug yourself a hole, stick to the same size, trust the process, and it only takes one or two plays to make it a great day. And that happened already a couple of times. So now I feel really comfortable with sizing up, and seeing a big minus something on the P&L at the start of the day doesn't scare me, and I'm not like, oh, I'm gonna stop trading for the day. I just, okay, stick to the same size, and the day will turn out well.
Yeah, I always like to say, and don't. I always try not to look at my P&L throughout the day, and it's kind of
Yeah,
hard. But even though like sometimes if you take a loss in the morning, your first trade's a loss. It's like you don't need a check. You lost money on the first trade. But I agree, that's one of the hardest parts for me, especially in my first couple years, and even like sometimes even now, where if I start the day down, I don't have the same momentum, right? And I have to almost kind of you almost have to regain confidence for the day. Um, but yeah, it's like you said, like if you just focus, just follow your plan, like do the right thing. If you took a trade, it was really good, but it lost. Okay, it's fine, no problem. Like it's gonna happen, right? But on the next trade, exactly you said, consistently size it. So because if you let's say you have let's say you have I don't know, a loss, and then on the winner you undersize it, but it's a winner. You're not like, the whole point is you consistently size it so the winner will actually erase the loss and plus give you an extra 2 to 3 hours or whatever. But if you undersize it, then it ends up, the math
But
doesn't work
it's
from
so
there.
hard.
Yeah.
It's so hard. But if you do it, it's a click that it needed to happen for me. It happened quite late, but eventually it happened, and now there's no way I'm changing my size if I'm in the red.
Good. I mean, that might honestly be the answer for the next question I have, which, what was your biggest challenge throughout the mentorship? I know you kind of maybe just answered it, but would you say that was the biggest challenge?
Yeah, I think for me was sizing. I really struggled with sizing because I was really looking up to. It helped a lot in the chat to see all of the really good traders, and I don't want to forget anyone, but like a Ben. I remember at some point being maybe at the same level of Ben, and now he's just taken off. Erica, Liv, all of those students, they just go in with good size, and I'm like, I know I could get there, but I don't know why I'm not, and I don't think I was just maybe too conservative or not psychologically ready uh, to risk more. When
Hmm.
actually there's enough days and there's enough not, I mean, I have only 1 year of experience, but enough experience to be confident with sizing more. So I think that would be the biggest challenge. And then what's difficult? I think it's just don't trade for money.
Yeah.
Trade trusting the process and stop looking at that day by day. Just look at the big picture. I think that's a key game changer. If you look at the big picture, you're going to have, I don't know how many hundreds or thousands of trading days ahead of you. And if you just focus on the day to day, it's tricky. And the moment you just focus on trading good, that's where everything starts unlocking and managing them well, and not just, I don't know, you see the stock drop or break out, and you see the open P&L being a great number, and you're like, oh, I need to get out. Most of the time, I guess you're going to leave money on the table. And that was, now I feel like a lot more in control. And I don't know, a couple of months ago for me, it was unthinkable to place an order on the ladder. And then I made too many mistakes, just pressing sell market, getting filled at the bottom, flipped, losing. And now I don't do this. Even taking profits halfway through is something way more common. And I think I've made a lot more money doing this than trying to take it out straight away when it drops. And I think that it took me time to do it, but eventually now I feel way more comfortable. And I think trading better was the biggest challenge, and trading well, not trading for the money.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, that's, whenever I go on onboarding calls with any new like mentorship students, I always say my biggest piece of advice is trade in order to become a really skilled trader. Don't focus on the money, because I've had so many situations with students that they're like 3 or 4 weeks in and they're actually making like amazing progress. Like, they're calling good stuff out in the chat, they're asking good questions, like they're consistently breaking even or at least making a little bit, and they're like, "Oh, I can't seem to break through and make money." And it's like focusing on the wrong thing. Like, the money will come as a byproduct of you trading very well. And sometimes you just have to push through, right? Where the more, it's like the more you focus on the money, the more it runs away. Versus if you just focus on pushing and pushing and becoming better and better and better, the money at some point you'll just pop, and the money will start just coming to you. You know, it's like
Yeah.
always my biggest piece of advice. But it's hard because we are like attached to money, right? Like, I'm sure when you joined and wanted to become a trader to make money. Like, of course
Yeah.
it's freedom, but you're
Hundreds.
everyone's here to make money. But we're here to make money, but the money has to come as a byproduct of just becoming really skilled. And the only way to become really skilled is to focus on the process, ask a lot of questions. Like, I know you ask questions in the chat, like you're active in the community, you're calling out plays all the time where I'm giving you feedback, and you're working, I mean, I'm sure you probably have like some sort of process where outside of trading hours you look back at your trades and review. I mean, maybe yeah, I was going to say, do you have anything like that where like, or what does that process look like?
I've started to do on demand.
On demand, yeah. So like, that's a back testing software, by the way, on
Yeah.
Thinkorswim, if anyone's not familiar, where you can like go back in time and take trades as if it's happening in real time, but obviously it's like simulation to give you like that kind of real experience. But yeah, sorry, go on.
Yeah, I do on demand. I've noted them down, and even on the file that we have on the community. Journaling, honestly, journaling is the best because you just reflect on what happened, um, and then that's pretty much how I review them. Then now I wanted to redo the university, to be honest, just as a refresher, because I think the skills are great to have, but for me, it's 20% the skills, 80% in the head.
Yeah, I agree.
Then it takes so much mentally to be good at it. And even with the on-demand feature, because it's fake money, you treat it in such a different way, but you're much better at doing the trade. And I do the trades that happened already a couple of weeks ago, and I forgot how they ended or how they started. And I trade much better with that than with the real money, obviously, because I don't have any emotional attachment, and I'm like, no, let's let it play a bit more, and then it keeps going, and my exits are a lot better than if I were to do it with real money.
Hmm.
So that's pretty interesting, and I'm trying to get more and more detached
Hmm.
of the real thing.
Yeah. Yeah. No, on demand is like very useful. I think a lot of students have been like using it. And it's literally like the level two is real. Like it shows you
Yeah.
as if it's like literally at that moment. So, all right, perfect. I mean, honestly, those were a lot of my core questions about your trading. Um, I guess question, what's your favorite part about the mentorship? And if you had to speak to someone who was on the fence of joining the mentorship, or maybe let's say you were talking to yourself when you first started, what would you tell that person who was on the fence, or what would you tell yourself?
Um, I think I remember now a year ago being in that position of should I join, should I not? Uh, and I think watching the interviews was the best thing because they were so, I mean, honest, and um, I would just say go go in it for the experience and the skills that you will learn and the freedom that you will get. But if you do it for the money within 1 week, I think it's going to be a car crash. But if you do it diligently and you go in with the right reasons and the right mindset, you will be successful, and there is no doubt that you will be. Maybe it's the wrong example, but Tyler in the mentorship, such an amazing progress. When I see his results now, I'm like, wow, this guy is crushing it. And he didn't start a long time ago.
Yeah, less
But
than
I
six
guess
months ago. Less than 6 months ago.
yeah, and he's doing amazing. And there's such young guys, like younger guys, that are doing amazing. But it's more like if you want to do it, don't take it lightly. It's not a get rich quick scheme. It's more of a lifestyle, I guess, to adopt as well. But it buys you freedom of everything. And if you do it correctly, eventually with time, and if you dedicate the right amount of energy and conviction, you're gonna get there without a doubt.
Hmm.
And don't listen to what the best advice was, don't say to anyone around you, because they're all going to come crushing your dreams and telling you that you're outside the box and that it doesn't fit, and you're going to start having doubts, and then you're going to put the doubts, and you very patiently tell them it's normal. Everyone tells you that because everyone is, I don't know, jealous, or they're in their frame and it's outside of their frame, so it doesn't work. It shouldn't work like that. It's illegal to make money just pressing buttons, and you must be gambling. There's no gamble in that, that's for
Yeah.
sure. And the stats speak for themselves. Uh, so I would say just if you enjoy trading, and if you would enjoy just learning the skill, go for it.
I appreciate you, man. Yeah, I agree. I agree with everything you said. I mean, it's not a get rich quick scheme. It's like, and it's funny because, with some of the students that see results relatively quickly, they don't expect it, right? They just try to progress and focus on trading, and then the results come relatively quickly as a result, because of that. Where Tyler, like, he joined less than 6 months ago, and I remember the first like 2 months even like 2.5 months, he was just like he was improving, but he was just frustrated because he wasn't seeing the results. And like sometimes in the chat, you have people like post their profits and their screenshots, and every day he would text me. He's like, "Why can't I get these damn? Or like, why am I not making money like these guys?" And I'm like, "Listen, dude, like you're 2 months in, just give it time. Like trust me." And he always asks good questions. He texts me like, "Just give it time."
Yeah,
And now, yeah, he's I think like back to back to back $1,000 plus days, and
yeah,
that's just what happens if you stick with the process. So exactly what you said. This is not like a get rich quick scheme. This is work. This is hard. This is
yeah,
this is a real skill set. It's a real career, right? Like most people, when they go to college, they have the mindset that it's going to take time. When you if you become a dentist, it's going to take like 8 years to develop the skill set that's going to make you 20 to 30,000 a month or something or whatever, right? You know that going into it, right? So why it just blows my mind how people when they go into trading they think, oh well, I can see results in a month. I mean, some people do. I've had like Brian, I recently interviewed, and Marielle, I recently
yeah.
interviewed. They literally saw results in the first month, but they didn't go into it with that mindset. They went into it just let me stick to the process, and that's why they saw results relatively quick. So, yeah, I agree with you. All right, I mean, I don't have any more questions. I was gonna say if you have any questions for me, I'm happy to answer anything you got.
What does the mentorship look like, and how do you feel? Because it's I think people are very grateful for what you're doing, and they should. And I'm part of those people who are super grateful because what you've put out is really the Harvard of trading. And if you look at just profits on Schwab, it's like, I don't know, 700% of your account. If you can show me, I don't know, whatever fund that can do 700% within a year, yes, it's day trading, but it's still unreal performance. And if you start scaling up, just it allows you to live the life that you want, I guess, in the end. But how does it feel for you to have so many people changing their lives or having such a big impact on people's lives? And what do you see for the mentorship in the next couple of years?
Hmm. I mean, it feels amazing. That's like part of the reason why I love to do what I do. I mean, you know me, like I'm here, even when I'm sick, I'm
Yeah,
here, vacation, I'm here. I love what I do. I love trading. So, I've always, as soon as I started trading, I fell in love with it. And then I realized I had a huge passion for teaching when I taught my cousin. And then I started like making videos and I started like, yeah, like creating the free course and making videos. And that's when I realized like I really enjoy teaching as well. And I have a passion for teaching. So, and then from there, I mean, it's really fulfilling. People really underestimate how fulfilling it can be. In this case, like having an interview with you, where you're telling me about your results in the first year. I've had a lot of interviews with other students. I mean, people in the chat like posting profits and like telling it's really fulfilling. And it's what I do. I love what I do. This isn't work for me. It's like a pleasure to
yeah,
come on every day and trade and moderate. So it feels really good. It feels like I have a lot of purpose and people rely on me. Like I have a lot of responsibility. Like I have to show up every day because obviously because I want to, but also because like there's people that they're there and they invest in themselves to learn how to trade and they need me to be there so I can make sure they live a better life. I like having that pressure and responsibility, because it makes me feel like purposeful and it makes me feel like, okay, yeah, I'm trading and sitting and pressing buttons and making money. And I do think I'm a really good trader and I can make money that way, but it's
yeah,
also, I'm actually impacting other people. I would say for me, it's also what I love about it is like I'll give you an example. Let's say someone else, yourself, or for example, like Ben has kids, right?
yeah,
So Ben became a super profitable trader and now his kids get to live probably a better life as well. So that's very motivating for me because there's purpose to that and I find it really fulfilling. And on top of that, I mean, I love trading and I love talking and I love teaching. And you know plus it's like a community and it's like a family that we've built. And
yeah.
obviously like I'm the mentor, but the community itself, they everyone helps each other, everyone makes sure everyone is like feeling good. Like if there's someone that's not having a great day, obviously I'm going to give feedback. There's other students that are going to give tons of feedback and it makes it feel a little bit better because trading can be a little bit like of a lonely thing, especially if you do it by yourself. Like I don't even know my dad. My dad did it by himself, right? And even when I first started, it was me and my dad. But at some point when I went to college, I was trading by myself too. So I like having the camaraderie. But and then in terms of plans, I mean, exactly what you said. Like I do consider this the Harvard Business School of Trading education. So for me, I want to continue to get people results. You know what I mean? Plus, the PDT rule is also going away, and I've been able to expand university mentorship where I have different tiers depending on people's situations and circumstances. So yeah, I just want to continue to provide people, give people the opportunity to learn how to do this because like I feel trading is one of those things where like it's really hard to learn by yourself because there's so much information online and all these guys like they're just all like
Yeah.
goofballs, like they're so like I see people online and I see their strategies and I'm like, "Ugh," like I feel bad for someone who's brand new, you know,
Yeah.
who doesn't have like an actual framework. So
Yeah, that's true. Do you think it's for everyone, trading?
it's a good question actually. I've thought about this a lot. I think anyone has the potential to become a really good trader. However, there are some personality types that trading is less it's not the best skill set for that personality type. Like for example, if you're a gambler, like an impulsive gambler, trading's probably not for you. I mean, you can overcome it. Like you can be disciplined and overcome that gambling type of mindset, but it's hard. Number 2, I would say if you have a lot of mental pressure and a lot of financial pressure, like if you're going into like if you need to pay bills that week and you go and trade and you have that mindset of, oh, I have to pay my bills this week, I need to make money today, you're not going to make money. Like
Yeah.
when you feel the need to make money, that's exactly when the money runs away from you. Right?
Yeah.
Exactly what you said like before,
Yeah,
like
so
being
true.
attached to the money. So those are the two situations. I think if you're in those situations, it's better to not. If you're a compulsive gambler, which most people aren't, and if you, but so I've had a couple students that are like, man, they'll have good days, and then boom, they're like they have one day and they blow it up. I'm like, come
Ah,
on, like
yeah.
come on, like. But besides that, I mean, my mom trades. My mom learned how to trade. My mom like taught my friend. Like her friend went through the university, and my mom and her like literally are on the phone,
And that's
trading penny
amazing.
stocks together, and like they're making like a few $100 a day. Like,
That's amazing.
and I mean, you've seen the mentorship. There's people from like all walks of life. I have people from their 20s to their 70s, right?
Yeah.
So, on the other hand, I do believe if you have discipline, you're committed, and you're willing to not give up, I do think anyone could become a trader.
Yeah. Yeah, agreed. I think yeah, that's pretty accurate, I would say.
Yeah, yeah. What about do you think? What do you think?
It's funny, it's I think about it more when I tell people what I do now. And obviously for most of them it's outside of their framework and they're like, oh, you're just gambling and it's impossible. And then there's the other side of people that are like, oh, I want to do it, what is it, etc., etc. And I'm like, you know what, at the end of the day, it is the hardest way to make easy money, but there's a lot of psychological pressure on it because like it's quite intense if you think about it to be in those trades and you want to trade it well, and it's not the easiest. And I guess if you're in the US, it's easier from a time zone point of view, but like here in Switzerland or in the Middle East where I am, like there's no, I have no nights. I just trade from whatever, it's 5 p.m. till midnight. I get to enjoy the day, but no social life during the week. So there's also some sacrifices, and if you don't show up, you don't get paid. So there are some sacrifices, and some people just like, I guess, the corporate framework. Um, I was gonna say it could feel lonely, but actually with the community, it's you don't feel lonely, which is great.
With me in your ear like every day, like and like sometime if I'm in like a good mood, if I'm like in a really good mood, I'll start like yeah, like so
Oh, the best is the mouse. This is the best.
yeah, you can
Feel bad
immediately
for you, but it's the best.
yeah. Oh, sometimes like because man, people don't understand like I have emotions too,
Of
And
course.
it's like sometimes I'm like, oh, I just missed that. I'm like, oh,
We all do. You just don't get to see how we react when we mess it up.
we need like a camera, like a
Yeah.
crash out camera. So, yeah, 100%. Yeah, I mean, perfect, man. I mean, that's all my questions. Unless you have another question, it was really nice
Don't
talking
want
to
to
you.
take too much of your time, but if I have some, I'll ask them obviously on the chat. But yeah, thank you so much. Honestly, it feels so weird to do the interview when I was watching them a year ago. So thank you so much for considering me for the interview, and hopefully it can be useful to whoever watches it.
Yeah, absolutely. And honestly, congratulations for
Thanks.
first year. I mean, it's first 1 year anniversary. So, I mean, six figures in your first year is really impressive. So, I mean, let's double
Let's
that. Let's double
Yeah,
it
that's the
in
goal.
2026.
At least double.
That's the goal. So, I'm also really proud of your success, and it really it does warm my heart. Hearing your story and everything. So, thank you
Thanks.
so
I'm
much
in
for
it for
coming
the
on.
long run. So thanks again.
Yeah, you'll be hearing me for a while.
Good.
All right.
All right. Thank you so much, man.